Today's topic is Beyond the Hype, how AI is reshaping business models and leadership decisions, which is all about decision-making leadership, one of our four pillars. This pillar focuses on making informed decisions. It's important to understand the organization and its context in order to propose improvements that are also realistic. Understanding the urgency for change and knowing how to create value is crucial. This means staying informed about the latest trends and developments in society and technology. In addition to applying existing knowledge and facts, practical research is also conducted to gain new insights. So we're joined today by Henry Erigha for his presentation, followed by the reflection of Divine Matthew. A little bit about Henry. Well, Henry is a business leader and technology consultant with nearly 2 decades of experience across telecommunications, fintech, and enterprise technology. He's the founder and CEO of EdgeVerve Business Solutions, co-founder of Grace AI Lab, driving digital transformation and innovation across Africa. His expertise spans IT strategy, product development, enterprise solutions, and large-scale systems integration. Henry has held senior leadership roles at Huawei, at HPE, and Blue Chip Technologies, delivering growth, partnerships, and market expansion across multiple regions. Henry is passionate about leveraging technology to drive business performance, innovation, and sustainable growth. A little bit about our reflector. Divine is a technology entrepreneur and AI enthusiast focused on solving business challenges through innovative digital solutions. He is the founder of Grace AI Lab and Product Paddy, where he develops tools that automate workflows and enhance productivity for product teams. His expertise spans artificial intelligence, product development, and startup leadership. And so Divine has contributed to enterprise innovation through research and IT roles, including experience with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, and System Specs. He's passionate about leveraging AI to drive efficiency, innovation, and scalable business growth. Well, Henry, over to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joanne, and sincerely, my big thanks to the BSN community for having me run this program. So I'll jump at it because of timing. Beyond the hype, how is AI reshaping business models and leadership decisions? What I'll try to do is demystify this, make it as understandable as possible. They also break it down in very easy elements so that each of us within this Zoomina can connect to it directly. So I'll jump at it, right? So clearly, questions would be, there's so much hype and buzz around AI and how AI is playing out and how people are trying to consume or understand AI, the threats, right? On the left, question will be, how is AI reshaping those models? And as business leaders, which I trust most of us are here, how can we create those enablements to leverage the powers of AI to make our work more seamless, smarter, and efficient, right? So typically, most of us have this fear that AI is here to take our jobs, right? But it's not here to take your job or replace your business, right? See it as an enabler that helps you. Businesses today and in the future that do not adopt or embrace AI, right, early will go into obsolete, right? And companies that delay will struggle to compete, which means that if you do not adopt AI today or plan into going into some AI strategy as a business or as a leader, you would see yourself losing out heavily around decision making and also process improvement, right? So if you look at the right side, just some key insights on how we think things manually, right? And how AI brings automation and workflows. This speaks a lot to how we do things before and how AI has come as an enabler to make life easy for us, right? We're not saying that there's still no human elements that are needed, but there are things mundane things typically that you do not need to do that AI can do easily for you. So that speaks to the middle row where AI-driven models speaks to automation workflow, human AI, and predictive decisioning, right? And of course, if you have to do anything around analytics, AI does it 50 times or 1,000 times faster, right? And just speaking to this slide, right? What will change would be you're now faster in your process. It's also very cheaper. You're better productive as a team or as a leader. You're more result oriented around planning, right? Your customers can now predictively, to a large extent, consume and enjoy your AI services without knowing it's AI that is doing that. You can build revenues and also predict your incomes leveraging AI tools and AI data. And of course, there is no brainer on this. You get a bigger, better return on investment if you go that route, right? Speaking to the one of the four pillars, this will be more tailored around leadership and how you as leaders can, off your head or off your mind or within your space, start to think or leverage the powers of AI. Right? Most companies are they're experimenting at this stage. They're not sure they're not sure if it's safe to have AI as part of their strategy plan, and it's also limiting their transformation journey. Right? The gap and that hype AI really would bring would be decisions around leadership would now start to be truncated. You're now slower. You're now depending on a lot of human elements in that decisioning. AI looks at data, pattern, and behaviors and can give you right decisioning at that point. So it's not just a issue of we as leaders saying we know AI or we know about it. We also need to now start to adopt it and leverage it. That way, within your 360 decision making process, AI can be part of that ecosystem and it can now help you start to make strong, firm, clear decisions, right? Three things AI generally will change right now would be how your decisions are made, where value is created, and what skills leaders actually need. As leaders, we do not know we need some AI tools, right? A lot of us have mobile phones, we have tabs and laptops, and we don't know we have agents within those tools that can make our lives easy, right? Take, for example, Google Maps. A lot of us use Google Maps, right? And if you have to ask Google Map on a direction, it takes you directly from your current position to the next position. Why do you trust Google Map at that point? That's a question I keep asking people. How are you sure Google is not taking you to a river? But because Google has a very high level of um, AI that has gone into creating patterns, understanding how users request these journeys, it pulls all those data and creates a trajectory for you. That's the same thing AI will do for your business and for your team, right? AI is compressing, so we'll take first insight. AI is compressing decision cycle. So right now, a lot of us now need to understand that if you have to make or take a decision, say for example, you're a business owner, right? And you've seen how your sales have evolved or grown, or you see how the market is changing based on either effects or how they're adapting or adopting your product. How, from a very large extent, right? How you now take and make those decisions will be faster with AI. AI can help create some reasonability and business trajectory for you. So, as a company, things around market researching, competition analysis, reporting, competition insights. What are your competition doing? What is their go to market strategy? What was their revenues for last year? How do you push yourself as a business? The practical tool to give you this information, first of all, most of us go to the internet, ask Google, what's HSBC doing today? Or why is GBA making XYZ billion and Zenith is making XYZ? Right? They must have invested in something that led to that trajectory. So you should understand that every decision you need to take going forward as a business leader, if you can, induct into your structure an AI strategy model that helps that decisioning process. That way you can have like a second checker, right? The human guys could have suggested one thing, right? You have your AI give some other analysis that they may now lose out on, right? That gives you direction as a leader. So please use AI to pressure test, a practical tool. Use AI to pressure test some assumptions within your team and see how it plays out, right? I tried to put some call to action in this presentation. That way we can make it a bit more handshaking. Today, before your next position, within the next 5-10 minutes, prompt an AI tool, what am I missing? Just type it right now within the session as a leader, as a business leader, what AI tools or what am I missing around pricing? AI will give you all the data you require around pricing and also ask you questions as to those other modalities that you need to also impute for it to give you the right information, right? It's one thing to know AI, it's another thing to have to be able to put the right information to get the right outputs from AI. Insights too. AI is also helping businesses to remodel their structure, which means businesses are now asking themselves questions now. What could have gone wrong if we had not done or gone into these AI roadmaps, right? And AI is now also helping businesses remodel how they structure their back end to their front end, to how they also engage their customers. Reasons being, the market is also adaptive. And as leaders, if you're not adaptive to market changes or global forces, you go into you completely lose that market, lose your customers, start to lose business. And of course, the impact around what you used to be will not be what you used to be. It will not be, oh, those guys they are forward-thinking people. They have a business trajectory. They invested heavily in AI. And whatever it is they do, they have agentic AIs and other AI models that helps them build trust, which is also very critical in the market, right? Two, run a 10-year stress test. I mean, look at your business within the last 10 years, from revenues to business processes to people, how you onboard to HR, right? And how you also engage your customers. I mean, your customer interfacing and backend tools you use. Is it just people talking or use a questionnaire? Do that 10-year stress test. If it's not 10, if your business is 5 years or 1 year, sit down and ask yourself basic questions, right? Which impacts your revenue and your survival as a business. How have I done? What could I have done differently? How is AI now being able to enable me? Within this session, if you are into construction or manufacturing, just click it, go to Google, or I mean, there are so many AI models you have within your structure. Just type, how can I within the next 10 years, or just reflecting on my last 5 years as a business owner that focuses on maybe computer and computing systems, what could I have done differently, and what would AI would have enabled me achieve within the last 10 years? And trajectory into the next 5 years, how can this AI build a growth path for me, right? And what are the possible outcomes? I kid you not, AI will walk you through a full structure of how your business should look, could have looked 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and what your business should look as of today based on what your competition is doing and what the market is doing and what your ecosystem is doing. Because again, you're not the only person doing that business. So if you have other rivals that have done the same thing and they're successful, AI will walk you through what they may have done that was right, what they are doing that is right, and also give you a plan for the next 5 years on how possibly, right, you can start to scale your business, right? Last insight, leaders' role is shifting, not shrinking. What does this imply? This means now that you now have your personal assistant on your side, which is an AI that is enabling you, right? So a lot of us had spoken a bit on this. Leaders must own context, relationship, and judgment. The most valuable leadership skill is AI. So you need to ask questions. So imagine you are in your boardroom or your stand-up session, right? And typically, most of us leaders do not have all the knowledge. Trust me, we don't know everything, right? But we need to understand some certain trigger words that come, right? So that it enables you to ask the right questions in those boardrooms or stand-up sessions. AI gives you the right questions, gives you the right answers, breaks down whatever it is they hear you, because it can also hear, it can listen, right? Via typing and also audio. So you can speak to it. Oh, please, somebody spoke about LLM. What is an LLM? Right? And how does an LLM impact my current project with maybe Nokia? Right? You can do that quietly, and it gives you all you need to read about. So when you're throwing your questions back to your team members or project managers, you're speaking from a point of knowledge and from a point of you know what you're talking about. And they also would also start to respect you, because they now see that you as a leader at that point, you are testing and trying questions that come your way, right? They just don't give you, you're not just an all yes leader, you're a leader that listens and also questions. And you'll use AI as an enabler to get right results, right? So you can translate AI and just build some purpose around your current business organization and processes, right? Best practice would be ask each person in your team to repetitively take a task, and most of the time, list all your AI roadmaps. So you can talk to your team members that, whatever it is you're doing right now, I know you sometimes use AI. I mean, I run a software company, right? And a lot of times I leverage my AI to ask questions and also demystify BRDs and product documents, right? So when they give me these documents, I use my AI to explain to me in native term what it means, first of all, so they don't bamboozle me with big languages because I'm not as technical as them, right? So I asked them, you'd ask your team members, in your space, what AI tools do you use, right? And of course, all your mundane tasks you do, break it into the ones you need brain work, the ones you need AI, and separate it. You'd be amazed how much dependency they have on AI as team members. Trust me. So this is just to break down and walk you through a few things around a few AI tools I think may work and how they can fit into your space. A lot of us know ChatGPT. It does basically everything for us. It's online. You just Google it. You get information on it. If you have a laptop right now, there's a Copilot on your phone. There's a Copilot on it, right? And it's purely for office tools, right? Your Microsoft Word, Office 365, Excel, and all of that, your PowerPoint. Gemini, Cloud, a lot of us use that, and this speaks a lot. I mean, I may not run through all of this. I want to focus a bit more on the right-hand side, instances and cases where AI can also help you. So if you're in strategy and leadership, again, this presentation will be presented so you can have time to go through this presentation on all the different journeys you want to create. If you're on strategy and leadership as a leader, right? AI can do so much for you around research, analysis, strategy, modeling, and assessment, right? If you're in operations, workflow, structure, automation, supply chain, and all of that can be done by AI. If you don't believe me right now, type on any of this ChatGPT on my left-hand side. I need to create an SOP document for generator maintenance. It will give you all the data. Again, a lot of us are used to this, right? So it's not like I'm talking to a community that does not have that knowledge. Then again, there's also no knowledge, there's also too much, right? But on your left hand, it gives you some scenario basis where AI can be as an enabler for you, right? For those mundane tasks. And trust me, it will make your time and turnaround time way faster. Your executives or people you report to, you see as better efficient because you're using those tools, right? But again, most importantly, data, right? I believe that at this stage, AI is also consuming a lot of data. Before I round off, I mean, I'll give us another session where some quick mock-ups, again, for HR, clear dashboard, for sales command, clear dashboard, operations and finance. This speaks a lot to how your typical dashboard can look like if you have AI within your ecosystem. As a finance person or a salesperson, which is my forte, imagine I have a CRM that gives me a dashboard on how my sales guys are doing, what sales we're expecting, predictable revenues, invoices that have gone out, and blah, 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 right? And the AI tells us, oh, in the last 10 years, this looks like a summary of how the sales team performed. This speaks to their key performance index around turning around deals and how those deals are consumed and how we are invoicing. And lastly, again, these were the deals that closed that gave us XYZ revenues, and these were our profits, blah, 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 right? Generally, this is just one dashboard for sales, and it applies to all the different demographics as we scale. While I round off, right, I would say that there are some key shifts that we as leaders in the last 20 years we need to consider. So while this speaks a lot to what AI should do from box one that speaks leaders will stop managing workflows, AI will not start to do that for you. So this is me saying within the next 10 years, if you do not have more than 4 or 5 AI skills, right, a lot of the jobs you will do would be, a lot of us may lose our jobs because it will now be a core skill that is needed, right? A lot of the thinking now will be done with you as a leader and your AI as team members. AI will now be a strategic team member within the next 10 years. So this is me saying your next 10 years trajectory should have an AI roadmap as a person and as an organization. It is also important to know that technology is also going to play around AI, moving from how you consume from your phones to your smart devices and non-smart devices. AI will now create like an IoT experience across all whatever it is you use as a human, right? So you have to be ready for that. AI is also going to make decisions for businesses going into the future, right? And it will be very, very critical that as a business, you now start to create that model. So beyond the human element that shows emotion, AI will now also start to create some element of emotions, right? And the hacks and all of the things you see happening today, AI is now being a better tool, because now hackers these days use AI to hack anyway, right? Now, in my space, we always say use AI to fight AI. But if you don't have that knowledge, you cannot consummate or prepare that AI, because it also has to be trained to fight those wars for you. I know of a company somewhere in Europe that has AI as one of its chief executives, and it's going to play out going into the future. But what AI will not replace, AI cannot replace your vision and purpose as an organization or as an individual, right? It will not replace those ethics your business has put into structure to run the organization from ground to top. AI would not replace trust and empathy. AI is just going to be a trained human that understands structure and process. But there are instances where we can give a blind eye or give considerations. AI do not have that capabilities yet, right? Then last of all, as a business or as a human or as a leader, your ambitions and courage cannot be taken off from you, right? In summary, the leader in 2046, which is 20 years time, right, will be a steward of humanity within a highly automated ecosystem. Speaking to ecosystem will now be that convergence of AI and humans working and talking together would create that impact around growth, process regeneration, and of course, scale, which is very critical. 3 things to take away, of course, what you can implement this week. This is me saying, beyond me just giving you presentation on what AI is and how you can leverage AI and how you can use it at your space and time. You can use AI to challenge your next big decision. As a business, as an individual, you want to take a new job, you can use AI to get information and data. Or as a business, you are struggling in some areas and you think AI, you need some other information that AI can leverage with you on. You work with that. AI can guide you, right? I mean, for free again, because it's online. Identify your most vulnerable information-based process, right? And it's also critical you have that, but then start a weekly AI stand-up with yourself or your team. The fourth one would be ensure you run an AI bootcamp, right? The goal is not to become an AI expert, really. It's just to become a leader that uses AI as an enabler to execute decisions and improve on processes. The real question isn't, will AI change business? AI has, and we all agree to that. I trust we do. And the question is, are you leading that change as a leader or as a company or as a business? Or you are reacting to it? The worst place to be would be when you are reactive, right? And you're not proactive. So I shared a few links where you can get free AI courses. And I hope that some of us can have access to this. It gives you base solid foundation on how to consume and how to use AI and how you can start to begin your own AI journey. I don't know if I have my last slide, but this is my last slide. And thanks. From here, I would hand over to Divine or Joanne to take over from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Divine. If we may ask you for your reflections on this morning's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Good morning. Very, very good presentation there, Henry. Good morning, BSN. Nice to meet you. So, based on Henry's presentation, there are very key points he has mentioned. And the two that I would like to point out here is AI would elevate some roles and elevate some manual processes that we do or repetitive tasks that we do as leaders. And while AI would elevate or replace some, there are definitely some that AI can't and might never replace. Trust of the brand, the vision, the mission, and other things like that. But then I would like us to look into this two key points, right, and see and let us reflect on it. Now, standing from the point of, okay, the things that AI can, elevate and replace. Over the years, there have been standards that we have as leaders, right? Making the day-to-day decisions, getting data to making sure that we make the right decisions. Now, with AI, it is much more easier than ever, much more easier than before, right? There's access to data. Now the real question is, how do we make the right decisions as leaders, which is something that Henry has been touching point on. And I would like us to reflect, amongst the many AI tools that we have, amongst the many data that we have access to, how do we make right decisions for our company? And then now, when you look at it, there are a lot of AI tools that are available to us as business, as leaders, as professionals. He mentioned some AI tools that we can use in doing a lot of things. And I even believe it goes further than that, right? It goes into, in fact, there are a lot of organizations now that have agentic systems that helps them do a lot of things, right? That takes off that repetitiveness in the business out of the way, while you as a leader or professional focuses on the main thing. So I'm going to ask you today, as a leader, if you have AI doing these things for you, what is that one skill that you would like to focus on and become a master in it? Is it your communication skill? Is it your people skill? Is it your team skill? Is it the ability for you to, motivate the team? These are very, very key, essential skills that we as leaders need to develop, because now AI is doing the grunt work for us, right? And then coming back to the part that AI can never replace, like the trust of your company. AI can replace that, but can AI help you make that better? Yes. Coming to the vision, can AI help you see or update the vision, your mission, help you see the broader aspects to it, help you see the nuances to it? Yes. But at the end of the day, we still have to make the decision of doing that. And now, AI would make leaders go into shifts, right? Now, it will help us compress our decisions and move, like decisions that are meant to take, let's say, 3 weeks. Now will take hours, because then we have all the data we want, and then we just have to ask it, oh, what do we have to do in this situation? And then now it's not left to you as a leader to look into it and make the right decision. So how does it matter to us as BSN? I'd like us to reflect on that. I believe we as BSN, we are professionals and we are leaders in our different fields. And it's very important for us to move with emerging trends, not just move with emerging trends, build frameworks that helps us, right? So if AI can handle the analysis and probably speed to execution, definitely. So we are being challenged to lead a more human-centric purpose for our company, right? If AI can do the analysis and everything that Henry has mentioned, now we are being challenged as leaders, as professionals, to now do the more human-centric part of the whole thing. Like I mentioned, your skill, your people skill, your communication skill, the ability to motivate your team as a leader, and the rest. So, moving forward, I want us to, look into Henry's 10 minutes challenge, right? To take the next big meeting using AI to argue the opposite, to argue probably a certain decision. You can do that. And then my reflective question to all of you, to all of us, basically, is as we move into this AI era, right? So I'm going to ask us, if AI removes the busy work of the analysis from our table, help us make informed decisions, compresses decisions into hours, right? What is that one skill as a leader that you would like to work on and become a master of? I want us to reflect on that. I would like to make some point also. That as we also use AI in doing all this, we should also learn to know the limit to what we can use AI to do. Now, there are a lot of things you can use AI to do as a leader, but then you should know the limits and how to definitely use it. It's not every data point to put into AI to help you give information on. There are things you still need to do on your own. And knowing the guardrails to using AI, it's very, very important, so that we don't end up being hacked, like Henry said, and also learning how to use AI in the part that we need to use AI for, because now AI is getting smarter by the day. Though to some people it's scary, but to us it should not be scary. It should be a good thing, because the more it's getting smarter, the better for you. Even though we don't like to admit it, AI is definitely raising the bar for, how do I put it, the bare minimum. Like I'd always say, I mean, a developer of 10 years ago who could just write React and do a lot of other things right now, that is nothing. Because even I, without any sort of too much technical knowledge, can do what it's doing at that level. So right now, AI is raising the bar to a level whereby if you know how to use AI judiciously and use it right, become a demigod in whatever we do, and then you just do things so swiftly. I remember, I think I was talking to Mr. Henry, and then we're supposed to have a presentation in about, he's my co-founder, by the way, so as to make the context work. We're supposed to have a presentation in about 10 minutes. Though we know what to present, but then we didn't have our presentation already, because I might have missed or slept off a bit. And then with a couple of AI tools, I got the presentation ready in 5 minutes. What could I could have not done probably a year or two ago, but I could do it now, right? So it's so fascinating when you see the level of where AI has gone to and what you can use it to do, basically, and then you are just really, really wowed. But then, like I've said, we should know the guardrails, we should know the nuances to it, and then we should know the edge and level we should use AI to, right? On this note, I say good morning to everybody. I hope my time is not up. This is my reflection to us today on the topic. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Divine Matthew. That was a very good, wonderful reflection. We have a lot of people commenting and saying well done to what you guys have both presented. We have people joining from various parts of the world, of the continent, various continents, from Zambia, Suriname, Somalia, Namibia, the UK, the Netherlands, South Africa, from Zambia. It's truly a global audience. We have a couple of questions. We have 4 questions already. And what we're going to do is, I see a lot of people requesting for the presentation slides. So we'll try and see how we can send, the presentation slides to probably everyone who has been on this call. All right. So Professor Walter, you've been raising your hands for a while. Do you have a contribution, or you wanted to say something? You can unmute yourself, Professor Walter. Okay, while he's, let me just go to, so we don't waste time. All right, the first question we have from Tona Gurima, it says, in what ways can leaders use artificial intelligence to improve decision-making effectiveness while balancing ethical concerns, employee trust, and organizational sustainability?
Okay, I should answer that?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay. So quickly, I would say that, again, great question, and it speaks a lot to maybe her background, because Divine had mentioned also that the way we consume and give AI data, which is the most critical element, right, in positioning how your AI would react or respond or scale with you. We also have to be we also have to be careful on how we give those data. And not because of hacking really, but again, AI is also studying your environment. And if there are no controls, like I made a joke with someone that tomorrow you may just see your company data, because AI is in the cloud somewhere, and because there are different LLMs speaking to each other, you now become a case study for some other business somewhere in China or in Syria, right? So the amount of data we give to AI, we need to put some control. Now, in response to your question, right, I think for me, beyond how you consume and give that data, It's also important as an organization to put an audit trail across how employees consume and use this data, right? And that alone would help build a lot of trust from leadership as an organization in putting control structures that restricts how data is released and also consumed. Recently, I got an email from an interesting Microsoft website or link, and it mentioned, my subscription had expired, I needed to pay. I had to look at the email or the sender email to be careful. Because if I'd clicked on it, who knows how much data would have left my computer or my servers. So I would not say that businesses do not scale out of fear. They scale because they put the right structures, the right knowledge base, the right team. And if you're a learning organization, which is part of what BSN pushes, it helps you evolve and scale your data and knowledge base in putting, first of all, internal business trust, right? And users would now, out of compliance, respectfully, start to consume and use those data because they understand the responsibilities attached to it. It's going to come with a lot of training, right? So the question I always ask is, those what ifs now happen. An intern comes, he's yet to complete the full onboarding structure, right? And makes an error. At that point, what structures do we now put in place as a business in ensuring that that doesn't happen again and also doesn't happen in the future, right? And again, we can take this offline. I can speak a lot to how we can effectively, create some pattern within your structure around behaviors within users, of course, within team members. So as leaders, you should also be able to, I'm not saying spy on their computer, but there's a way people consume. Of course, if you have an LMS within your environment, like a learning management system, where people go consume knowledge, study the business process, or there are books they can read online and stuff like that. The more people that read and understand the business structure around processes and all of that, the more it's easier for you to scale your business because they know what to do at that point. I don't think this answers your question. Yeah, but I think I gave it a good shot.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a lot of questions, and there's no
Okay.
way, there's no way we can answer all these questions within the said time. So I would want to request that if we can take a little bit of your time, Mr. Erigha. So what we'll do is that we would end the webinar and request for those who have questions to wait behind. So we just quickly attend to them quickly while we allow others to go and continue the rest of their day. Over to you, John, to close so we can just take the questions that we have. We have, a lot of questions.
Certainly. Thank you very much, Paul. So also a very big thank you this morning to Henry and Divine for what truly has been, and we just look at the comments in today's session, a very insightful session, very informative, and I think has provoked a lot of thinking and conversation. So thank you everyone for joining us this morning and for your engagement with us on this topic. If you want to know more about the BSN Impact Center for Great Leadership, or if you're interested in a program to further grow the talent of your team or yourself, just put it in the chat and we will contact you. Just briefly, next week's topic is Winning the Talent War, Leading High-Performance Teams in a Borderless World. Our speaker there will be Alatoyo Ladipo Ajay, who is the Regional Manager West Africa at Infobip. And our reflector for that discussion will be Dr. Adetutu Afolabi, I do apologize, co-founder of Hazen Holdings. So we look forward to welcoming you there again next week. Thank you everyone again for today's session. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks everyone.